Come on and read free. Studios.
Watch out, you might get what you're after. Cool babies, strange but not a stranger. I'm an ordinary guy, burning down the house. Hold tight, wait till the party's over. Hold tight, we're in for nasty weather. There has got to be a way, burning down the house. Here's your ticket, pack your bags, time for jumping overboard. Transportation is here. Closing up and after bar, maybe you know where you are. Fighting fire with fire. Hey, always. Hey, you might need a raincoat. Shake down. Streets walking in broad daylight. 360 What's up, what's down? Tell me something going round. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth, come with me. What's up, what's down? Nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way. Always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day. Hero Shack Day. Hero Shack Baby things. Hero Shack, hey. Hero Shack, yeah. Hero Shack Daily things.
Hi.
And welcome to Hero Shack Daily Things, episode 39.
79? Did you say
39.
79? Oh, 30.
39. 30. 39.
I hear.
One
Okay.
after 38, one before 40.
I getcha. I
Yeah.
feel you. Anyways, what's up?
So
What's
I'm
hanging?
I'm
What's
putting
doing?
this up. I'm putting this up in my office tonight.
I
This is
saw.
a painting from one of the students. Just have to pick a spot.
Yeah.
This is one of the characters. It actually has glitter in it, right on the
Yeah,
green,
he
but it's
did.
not really.
He had his glitter for the part of his character that glittered or something.
Well, it's the energy glows.
The energy or something. I knew it was something.
That's what I'm calling it. It looks like energy glow to me.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's from HK. That's all I can say. But I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wanted to show that because it's been sitting there a couple of days actually,
I know.
and still, until I settle on how the studio is going to be, which is going to come after tomorrow.
Is it now?
Yeah, well, everything's been
You've been
leading up to
talking
that.
about this, so I'm really looking forward to seeing your feng shui.
Well, you have to understand. Well, I understand that it's going to be heavily reliant upon my personality to emote my excitement and my intent about comics.
Yes.
Now Diana went out and blew about $40 on a pad tonight because it was heavily implied they'd like to see me draw, which I'm planning on putting video in the presentation, like off of the YouTube time lapse stuff.
Right.
So there'll be some of that so they can see me, how it happens in real life real fast. But because I don't want to disappoint, we've got this huge, I don't know how big it is. It's way bigger than 1117.
Yeah.
And I'm basically going to hit them with Sharpies.
Well, you never really said to me what size. You said get a big draw pad. Well, that's a big draw
What
pad.
we needed. No, for 300, in a room of 300 kids, it needs to be huge.
Yeah, exactly.
But I figure for the kindergarten through second grade, I believe it is, I'll do a picture of Bodhi. And for the older ones, I'll do Cyclopean.
Oh.
And my intent is actually to bring Bodhi into the Great Cyclopean as his sidekick / pet. Ultimately,
I love Bodhi. I love Bodhi. I think he's adorable. You know that.
Well,
yeah. So that's what you decided to do.
I still have him on the back burner. I decided that tonight. I didn't even have a chance to tell you about it, but
I know.
Ultimately, I think he needs a little softener.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to think how to do it. And at the same time, I've been trying to figure out what to do with Bodhi. So I think I've got something.
I love it. I do. I really like it because he's, like you said, he's been, sitting on the back burner for quite some time.
And we do have a book planned for him. It's not a traditional comic. It is a child book. And Bodhi goes on an adventure to explain the calendar to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
And so that's something that probably won't be out till Christmas. It really is. It's going to be done on square pages with a drawing and a line of text underneath it. It's that kind of book.
Yep.
Intended for 3 to 6.
Right. It's more like a story for it's more like a children's illustrated book as opposed to a comic, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Because Bodhi will have far more innocent origins than any of the heroes, and yet he's more than capable of being part of the adventure.
Yeah, so I like how you put that. That's very, very good. I love
He's a very cool character. Now, what we did with him previously won't be canon. That was our failed Mangai Yoshokin series.
Yeah.
But he will have that personality. And I will let that blossom in the story as we go. When I talked to the captain tonight, he reminded me to stay focused on the Cyclopean, even though there are a bunch of things being planned for after issue 12.
Right.
And I don't know. There will be surprises, people.
I know.
I'm already popping with surprises.
You are already popping with surprises, aren't you? I am. So
you're familiar with most of them.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Can I just?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Finish up. I do have something I just want to say.
I will just roll. So you say something, otherwise I'll just keep going.
I know. So on our Hero Shack Press page, which is the company's page, I get notifications through my personal page, so I'll go over and check and say, oh, okay. Why is it that almost every comic that I'm scrolling through is a very, very adult related? A lot of it is like at the Garden State Comic Fest in Morristown is Nicole Jelinek, I guess, is there. And I don't know if that's a female or a male, but the picture is very well done. It's of a woman and it has like a vine around her private areas. So she must be, I don't know. What's that? What's that? The lady with the vines. My God. What is it?
Poison ivy?
Yes, poison ivy. I think it's poison ivy. I don't know.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me try to jump in real quick before you say too much.
What?
You're asking why there's a lot of adult content in the comic.
Well, this is the thing. And then I went with CE, I guess, Comic Elite. Again, there's a lady squatting down and her whole thing is like, I just don't get it. I'm looking for, there's another one, Death Rain with her.
So let me explain it to you. And this is exactly why we are injecting ourselves
Geek
into
girl.
the kid sphere. Okay.
Yeah.
I know. Let me say this though.
Okay.
Because you're hitting a very sensitive subject for me, young lady.
I'm so
I'm
sorry.
not saying any of that stuff does not have a right to exist.
No, I'm not.
The reason we're seeing so much of it is because when you focus in on comics, whether they be mainstream all the way down to indies, they're overhyped on sex.
Because they're designed for adult. So you know what that says to me?
It's marketing to the wrong crowd for us.
Well, for us, right? Not for anybody else. So for everybody out there that's doing these, I mean, the artwork is fantastic. I'm not ragging on that, but for Hero Shack and for Chris and I, where our heart lies in this whole comic book adventure thing has always been targeting towards kids, you know, for the younger people. And I know, I know that there are 5th and 6th graders that would love the adult stuff, and that's fine. I mean, that's all about growing up. We weren't prudes. We've been there, done that. But for our business and for what we want to kind of put out there, it's
the thing is, 5th and 6th graders also want to have the very simple, basic adventure stories that we offer. The problem is that's not available, so they've come to know the other stuff on the internet. They come to see they have seen all the everything you can imagine they've found. Let's not kid each other. They know how to Google. So what we have to do is offer a stable, reliable, creative story zone where they know they're not going to have to deal with weird stuff that is of the world. The idea of being in a superhero story of engrossing yourself in it should be to escape all this stuff. So it's very important to me that we help carve out a niche again, because it's out there. There are other kid publishers, other creators like us. We just haven't had a chance to grow and meet them yet. And that's not a knock on anybody we have met, because I think we have met some. I know there are creators in Massachusetts that are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm not.
And we just haven't really had a chance to network with them the way we should.
Right.
But that's going to change this year. We're going to start reaching out. We're going to start making sure that we are connected to those guys. Hey, Cap and Steph, you know we love you guys, right? Oh no, we're not bickering. We're actually arguing the same point, because Diana's really talking about.
I'm actually writing it in the chat so people can read it in case they heard bits and pieces. Because I am honest to God, I am not dissing what I'm seeing. I'm just saying our focus, we have been talking a lot about really changing the image of Hero Shack Press to be geared towards the market that our books are targeted for. And so, again, I had gotten a couple of updates, and that's normally after work, I'll scroll through Facebook and say what's going on. So that's all I'm saying. So please don't, it's not directed at any one person or any one group. So please don't be upset. It's just my opinion.
We're not bickering. Her and I are actually agreeing.
We're not bickering. We're actually agreeing for the first time.
Right. Well, she's on my soapbox, so I'm jumping up behind her going, yeah. And I don't. Yeah. Now, we're not prudes, but what we are is motivated by a vision of the fact that comics used to have a place to start the kids, lead the kids. As they became adults, they got into more graphic novels. As they became
Right.
full-blown adults, they would continue reading the all ages, but they would follow the books that were deemed
Right.
mature as well.
Right.
But now there's nothing
Exactly.
for the kids that seems to be out there. Like I know there are pockets just like us, but there's
Yeah.
no national other than manga. And I
Right.
mean, I love manga, but
Yep.
it's not what I grew up with. It's not going to feed the kids into the Superman, the Batman, the Spider-Man, the
Yeah.
Avenger. It won't feed them into Western comics. Now,
And
maybe that's a good thing, but
honestly, I feel like even the manga crowd and everything, there are kind of pockets of kids that are not into manga. I mean, there are many, 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 many that are, but there are pockets of kids that are not huge manga fans.
well,
And
the one thing we're finding really is they want to create, and they will create manga, and they will create drawings like Neil Adams. They will create things
right.
that they see old and new. A lot of
Mhm.
them still look when I show comic book art, a lot of them freak out on the classics. Jack Kirby
Yeah,
still gets responses from young kids.
I know. And that's cool to
Um,
see.
but
That's
they
very
don't
cool
get
to see.
that. If it's not
Right.
presented to them, they don't see it.
Right. Unless
Um,
they're grown-ups at home or huge comic book fans and
right. That's
whatnot.
the
And
exception.
that's kind of a different story, but yeah.
And we have had a couple of those kids around, but for the most part,
Mhm.
these are kids that their exposure has come down to the movies and
Mhm.
manga.
Right.
Yeah, Eric, you're right, bro. The classics rock.
Mm.
So, do you want to see any of the presentation I'm planning for tomorrow?
So tomorrow, for those of you that are tuning in or have not heard us babble about this the last week, we were invited by another school district that's local to us. They're like 15 minutes away, for Chris to come and do a presentation to the student body. It's kindergarten through sixth grade. He'll be doing two presentations. One will be for the kindergarten to the third graders, and the other will be for the fourth through sixth graders. And it was the art teacher who reached out to us. She was recommended, somebody, I guess, recommended us to her. And so Chris has been like working on this presentation. We're going to do, I say we, listen, I say we, but it's really Chris. I'm just there to like support him, to carry his paper or something. I
Well,
don't
she
know.
doesn't realize it, but she is the editor in chief of Hero Shack. And believe me, when I
No.
have to turn to the easel and draw, I will be looking to her to carry the conversation because, like I said earlier, I didn't know what they wanted. I was planning on showing video and talking and doing a presentation, but it seems really stressed that they would like to see me draw live.
Yes.
That's not a
Yes.
problem, except I'm not equipped to do that in the sense of paper and stuff. So Diana had to go purchase this huge pad tonight. I mean, I'm
I
like,
did.
girl, this
I
is
don't
gonna
know
rock.
it's huge. Has a
The only
handle.
thing
You
is,
carry it.
I would wish I had like one of those inch wide Sharpie markers. Um,
What?
the inch wide ones, or they're like half an inch. They're the wide
I
ones,
do have some of those. I have some wide ones.
not the regular thick ones. I mean the wide ones. They're like a wedge that comes out and it's wide and it's.
Yeah, I thought I had some. I'll look
If
later.
you
I'm
do,
pretty
that's
sure.
fantastic. If you do, that's
You need
fantastic.
a
If
black
not,
one,
I'll do
right?
that.
Just a black one? Just black?
Yeah, black is preferred.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
I'll make
if
sure you have it. How's that?
my
Okay.
assistant is the best.
I'll make sure. So yes, so the presentation you've been working on, I got a quick glimpse of it during my lunchtime at work. I looked at it
Well,
and I
say I've
liked
been
it.
working on it. Okay, so honest truth, I haven't put enough time into it. So tonight I'm going to be in the panic mode to jazz this up, especially since I now realize I kind of need two, because I need to soften it up for the kindergarteners and sharpen it up a little for the sixth graders, which is
Right.
not a problem. So, like for instance, this would be the first panel I was planning on putting, some comic jazz into this
Yep. I
tonight.
like that.
Yeah, well, it's just very basic. It's what is a comic? What is a comic book? Because as I say this to the kids, I'm going to say, what is a comic? And then I'm going to go, and I don't mean a stand-up comic. I'm talking about a comic book. See, there won't be a script, but I know where I'm going with it. So a lot of this is going to be, it's going to be live because if I try to read a script, believe me, I used to preach when I would read the sermons. When I let it flow from the heart, much better. So, uh, the second panel that we're going to go into is when I start explaining to them that these caveman drawings represent, in my opinion, the very first cartoons, the very first comics. This is how mankind started to document and visualize, and it's where comics get their very original roots. So when a child wants to draw, it's because it's in our nature. Like, how far back have we been drawing since, right? And as we go through this conversation, I'll be switching to this panel. And this shows some very deliberate things. Like I made sure I caught the news from the headline there. But it represents how we used to share the news. You know, people had to draw this stuff. The bottom right is President Washington. To the left is something that happened in Philadelphia with a repeal of a law. The one to the upper right is a kitchen thing where they were feeding the poor. And I just think it's really neat to show them that, look, all this stuff had to be drawn. Everything you see today that's pictures and video, they used to be comics.
I
and
like
then,
that.
you know, I want to talk to them a little bit about the different kinds of comics. There's one panel comics like Family Circus. There's, you know, the multi-panels like Garfield and Peanuts. And there's books. And I used Mighty Mouse deliberately because I'm sure none of them know who Mighty Mouse is, so it might get a giggle.
Sorry.
Then I'm going to say, you know, then we transition into modern times. And you notice I use a couple of classic Americans and a couple of like modern hits that they'll surely recognize. And that's because I don't want to get too bound into the whole history of comics. I just kind of want to give them a quick glimpse at the covers. This will be more popular with the older kids when they see their favorite, you know, oh, look at that. I know that guy. Da, 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 da. But then I'm going to present them with the question, who makes comics? And, you know, real brief, we'll say it can be done all by yourself, or it can be done in teams of writers, artists, letters, colorists, you know, depending on the crowd, depends on how much we put into this. You know, if there's a lot of hands up and questions, great, we'll take them. If not, we just move into this and we explain really briefly how, like, it's, you know, all done in black and white with pencil and then pen, then it's colored, then it's lettered. You know, it's a real quick, this is what a comic book looks like in production on a real quick glance. And then down here, we talk a little bit about how you can do it on an iPad or you can do it on paper and pen. You know, all you really need is a straight edge to make sure your lines aren't going crazy. Here I talk a little bit about materials because, you know, I point out ElfQuest creator Wendy Penny grew up drawing on paper towels. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is made to look like it's drawn on line paper, which, you know, millions of kids have done. And I speak about how I used to tear out blank pages from the back of my mother's mystery novels.
So you're a lot of this stuff, a lot of these are like visual prompts for you to kind of have your discussion. You already know what you're going to say.
And
so
some
I
of them
love
are
that. I love
I
when
will
you do
deliberately
that.
throw some of these at you so I can turn at the easel.
I know.
Like this is actually spelled out. So if I turn around and start drawing again, you literally know what I'm talking about by having ElfQuest there and Wimpy. And you know, to finish it up, we go here and we say this is the final product. You know, you put out your book and you go to a convention and you try to sell it, and you sell it online and you sell it all over the place. And you know, it's a little self-serving in my opinion. But on the other hand, I also want to set a table up there, or at least the stand with the comics. I want them to visualize.
You want them to be able to actually see the comics and whatnot, and
the booth.
What it looks like.
Because the whole idea will be to explain to them, this is something you can do. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but if you have a goal, you can set up and literally come down to the show in Athol in October, and we'll help you set up. Or, you know, just look at it like when you're 16, 17, 18, when you're old enough, you can practically do this alone. You'll need mom and dad to sign that slip to get in, but You
But
know, we see
no,
kids in the conventions all the time that are 16,
like
17
or
with their
even
own
younger,
tape.
they come with their own sketchbook. There is nothing more rewarding than to have a little kid come up with their very proud mom or dad or both and share their child's artwork and have Chris look at it and just give them, you're doing
Well,
great.
what's
Don't
so
don't
humbling
stop.
is they care what we have to say. And
Yeah.
it's funny because it's always been that way. When I was looking for convention pictures, I found some of the first ones
Yeah.
when basically I had 3 books that were called Hero Shack, and they were my friends. They were the early buds of someone coming back into comics, and they
Yeah.
were interesting.
Yeah. They were good.
But we had the nerve to sit out there with these books next to
Yep.
the best pros in the business, selling them to people and getting encouragement really is what it was.
Right.
Because what you'll
Well,
find is the independent community, if you show up at a show with a book like as bad as mine was when I started, they give you some mercy. They're like,
yeah.
"Brother, come here. Let's talk about colors. Come here, brother."
I'll never forget that. And that was actually at the New Jersey one. It was one of our very first shows, and we got sandwiched between two pretty incredible creators that
Actually, that was a nice one. Yeah, I've had rougher experiences, but that one was beautiful. And those 3 guys I still love to this day, even though it was only 2 days. Now I sound like a romantic weirdo, but it was
you
really
are, well, you kind of are, but we won't go there.
okay.
So yeah, so I like the presentation. I know that you're
I'm
going
gonna
to,
jazz it up a little more tonight.
yeah,
And what
yeah,
I will do is I will make a couple of deliberate changes for the grade levels.
right,
Um, now that I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, like, this can be really taken out for the little kids and
yeah,
replaced with something cute to explain, like, everybody has a part. We can all do this,
yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, I think it's
whereas the
great.
older kids will want to know, a little bit more about it. I may even include um, a slide with a legitimate script because
Hmm.
I use Comic Life for the lettering, and they actually have a legitimate script writing template in there that's wonderful. Uh,
Did you see what Tony said? Props
yeah,
to you,
I'm
my
reading
brother.
it. Respect, past respect. I get such joy out of seeing you, man. You don't even know. It's so funny. Ah, look, I don't want to get too sentimental here, so say something, lady. Say something.
Well, I know, but you have been a comic creator since God for what? How old were you, in all honesty? Because this is some of the stuff that you're going to share tomorrow.
I remember my first drawing comics being like 4 or 5 years old. And they were literally we were copying what we saw in the Sunday Funnies.
Right.
I've talked about it before where my brother and I would draw castles on either side of a paper with kings in the castles on the top, and we'd have a little war. Okay, I have archers on my wall and they're shooting your guys coming up on the horses. And we would
Yeah.
literally draw all the parts until the paper was full. And then we would
Right.
laugh. My brother was, God rest his soul, was like, and I'm sure I look at this with jaded glasses, but he was
Yeah.
like an angel on earth. Like, I don't remember him ever doing anything bad, wrong, indifferent,
Right.
just the way it is. And like, so we would sit there and draw. And of course, he'd always let my king win. you know, so, I would always draw the last weapon that would take the day.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
Cap
funny
needs
though.
to show up, brother. In fact, I am thinking seriously about doing some sort of live trailer for issue 8. And I know you have the right t-shirt and you have the body. We could do a
Yep.
little I want to do a Superman rip. You know the kind I'm talking about
Do you
with the
know how?
logo?
Do you know how? Like we could totally make that costume. You know that, right?
Yes, but I don't really need the whole costume. I just need
No.
that Superman rip. I need to put him in a button-down shirt and like take a shot from like the neck down and just have him like "Roar!"
That would be so
with
fun.
blood.
That would be so That would be really fun. But yeah, so that's what's happening tomorrow. So we're pretty pumped about that. And I am so excited to tell you guys I finally figured out the eye for the Great Cyclopean
Yes.
plush / ragdoll. And this is my thing. Chris is like, do it, whatever you want, honey. And I'm excited about it because I finally figured it out. It's coming along. I'm doing my first embroidery for his eye. So his eye will be embroidered. The C will be embroidered. And the belt, we're doing something kind of special with his little belt. So I'm kind of pumped about it. And once I get it done, I will be showing you guys
leather.
What's that?
It'll be Falk's leather. Made of the finest vinyl yellow.
Okay. That's what he thinks, the Mr. Sewing guy over here. We're going to look at options. How's that? Is that okay? Can I just say we're going to look at options?
It'll be Falk's leather.
Fox leather? It's faux leather. It's faux. It's not fox.
Oh, see, that's kind of like when I used to pronounce hyperbole. That was great.
I know. You're funny.
Or pseudo.
Listen, guys, listen. He is the worst with like, remember Job? When we first got together. Yes. Yeah.
And we went to a Bible study and we were talking. I said, in the book of Job, and they all looked at me like, what?
What book is that?
Job. You know what book I mean? J-O-B. The book of Job? No, the book of Job. The book of Job would be J-O-B-E. No, kid. Job.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, he's really always like the word things. So anyhow, what else is going on?
Well, I can tell you, I am very excited. I can't show it yet because it's too loose still.
Yeah.
I'm
afraid. What can't you show
today?
Oh, is this what you were talking about earlier?
This is the first page of the Cardinal.
Oh yeah,
which is kind of funny because I haven't even really pitched the idea, but I've been working on art. And
you shouldn't say too much.
Well, I can say this: it's an aerial shot involving ancient archaeology, what's the word I'm looking for? Architecture. So it's a town from the past, from the long past, and so I can say that much because all the intent is to really show that there's a caravan going through town that is very important. It sets the stage for the nasty of events. Nastiest. Where the cardinal must be needed to come. Sorry, that's my terrible attempt at an Italian accent.
What is that?
That was me trying to do like a Catholic Italian accent from like the ancient times. Like
Tony, I was trying to figure out. Sorry, hold on a second. Tony, there's just no Netflix balls. I'm trying to think Netflix. What is he talking about?
Nerf balls.
No Nerf balls. Don't nerf him. Whatever you do, for the love of God, please.
So remember now, the stretch goal we were talking about Nerf balls with a certain logo on them might not be a good idea.
Probably not.
Could you imagine Tony's face if we did that?
No.
If we hit $50, everybody gets a free Nerf ball.
We want to see.
Yeah, I want to be alive next time I see him. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we want to go and visit him without
without him going, Chris, here, hold the bullseye target for us right there. Yep, nope, a little lower.
Come on, Big Papa, hold that big round circle. Where's the target? Move it up a little higher. We want to make this a one shot. A one-off. Let's just get him one shot. That arrow through his head. Oh my gosh.
Put the apple on your head, buddy. You'll be fine.
Yeah. They're not like that at all. We are like totally yeah. And so this event tomorrow, okay. After that is done, we are going to be concentrating on not only the Great Cyclopean 8 and the other stuff. Hey, good stuff. The other characters that Chris is working on. We are also going to be focusing on getting ready for the comic cons that we've signed up for in our own comic book fest that's being held in Athol. So Yeah, we have a lot to do. A lot.
In fact, that's in October. So by then,
Yeah.
you could have a really good suit made up.
For Cyclopean? Ugh.
No, I was thinking of Cap.
Oh, that we could totally do. You know what throws it off? It's his head. The head. The head is the thing that like we're all like, okay,
Oh, you're
how we
talking about the Great
do everything.
Cyclopean? To do
What's that?
his head would take a lot of that plastic, and I don't
It
know
would
that it would
take
be
you
comfortable enough.
would actually stop. You would use that foam stuff. It would
Yeah,
be like
yeah, you're right.
foam.
So it's gonna
Yeah,
be
it would be
so
a foam thing. And we would need a person who's very, very good at sculpting with other mediums. I can think of one or two because I think you could do it. But Krista could do it. I know Krista could do it.
I gotta look up Battle Pope and find out what that is. Hang on,
Yes,
I'm looking.
yes, he totally could pull that off, Tony. Neo could totally pull it off. He's got the right build, the right height. And I've always wanted to make one, but that is like guys, I'm just now getting to embroidering an eye. For the love of God, this is taking me out of my comfort zone. I can do the embroidery for the eye. I don't know if I can make a big head, but I could look into it. You know, the one thing about YouTube is that there are so many tutorials for like almost anything you want to do, and that is one of the things I like about YouTube. Do you know I know people that don't even have regular TV anymore. They just have YouTube. Isn't that crazy?
No, I understand that. So I just did a brief look at Battle Pope's Wikipedia, and the
Mhm.
good news is it's nothing like it.
Oh,
Which
all
is
right,
the good
good.
news. Because yeah, but that is an interesting premise for a series. And obviously if Robert Kirkman did it, it was successful.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of good stuff. Was he Walking Dead or was he Invincible? No, I
Who?
don't think.
Who are you asking? You're asking me?
Yeah,
I don't
Kirkman
know
did
that.
which one? We talked about this the other day, and I always get them reversed.
Hmm.
Hang on. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And I did the same thing last time. I looked at it. Yeah, it's Walking Dead.
Tony says sweet smackers.
Sweet
That is
Maccas,
so
baby.
cool. Sweet smackers. We got to get a sticker with that.
Yes, we
I should have.
absolutely do.
That would have been a fun sticker to have.
Oh, for tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's not
Now
too
that I
late. I'll
think
give
of
you a
it.
Sharpie and a bunch of blanks.
You're so funny. So
Yeah.
speaking of stickers, we are getting ready and gearing up for the Great Cyclopean #7. We're waiting on a few items to come in, but I have literally everything ready to go. So I'm super excited about it. And it's like, we'll probably get them out the first week in April is what I'm guessing. Everything seems to be coming in on time, and I don't know. I just wanted to put that out there because that's
The only
what I
thing
do.
that we're waiting on is me to finish the sketch cards, which is going to be very easy to do. I'm just going to
Yeah.
finish that up in the next
Yeah.
couple of days.
Right.
Actually, I have a unique idea for that. If I can pull it off, I'm going to.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But can I speak on it yet, honey?
What's that?
The idea for the sketch cards?
Yeah, you can. I don't know if we're going to record the presentation at the schools. Chris, should we? We could.
We may want to try to. We have
Mhm.
to be careful because I don't want to record students
Well,
in
yeah,
attendance. That's always
that's the only thing. The school may record it for all we know.
right.
The school might, but I don't really know. But when we get there, we can mention it. We'll find out, and if we can, maybe I don't know. Maybe we can. But
Yeah.
when you're going into a school, it's kind of tricky We don't want to be those people like, hey, we want to record. We
The
don't.
thing
But it would
about
be,
it is too, I might even be able to like record the audio and then
yeah.
just run it in conjunction with the slides, like
This is true. You probably could do
in a
that.
video presentation. Well, I could, because
Yep.
then none of the kids would be mentioned unless I do something stupid like, "Hey kid, what's your name? Tell us first and last and address and phone number," and put them on the mic. Like unless you're doxing somebody audibly, you're not gonna have a
Right.
name there. What happens is it's so strict in the school environment, and that it's understandable that you have to literally have a clearance, which is typically, bless you, signed in the beginning of the year. And if you don't have that clearance, you can't have the kid in photos or in videos.
Right.
And it's, for a lot of reasons, but typically it's for the
Right.
safety of the child.
Right.
And we will never intentionally, endanger that trust. I'm not going to say it'll never happen, because I've seen it happen.
Right.
People get, a little careless. Usually it's in personal accounts, but
Right.
you'll find somebody has taken a picture, they put it online, and then there's a panic because, oh no, get
Because
that
it's
person
online. You have to be so careful. So,
right.
and they may not, but I know an audio would be okay, I believe.
It
But
should be at least, yeah.
no, I mean, we work in a school ourselves, so we kind of understand.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, we may be able to. We may be able to.
It may even be a matter of just how we set up our camera, the angle. The thing that makes me uncomfortable though is I am very apt to get down on the floor and talk to kids one-on-one. It's going to be my job to entertain them. I'm actually seriously considering spinning the easel around at them and drawing all of them sitting there, like as a quick.
That might be kind of fun.
It might be. They might not like it. It's kind of weird. I've done it before on an iPad. I've never done it in big paper. So yeah, I probably won't. So like, I'm considering, what do you guys think?
But you could do that because you're going to leave it with the art teacher.
Right. But what do you guys think?
That.
What would you think if I did a light pencil drawing on the paper before I went there to guide me as I did the full size drawing?
I don't know.
So in other words, if I did like a rough pencil sketch, really light, so that when I'm live, I actually know what I'm drawing instead of trying to just spit it out. It's still my art. It still requires live rendering, but I would have myself, for instance,
what's a guide?
The rough of a body, that's the only way I can think of to ensure that I leave something that they're going to like behind.
I don't see why you couldn't do that. Number one, it's going to be light enough. Most people won't even know.
I don't even care if they do know. It's not going to be a perfect pencil drawing that's inked over. It's going to literally be super rough. So I have like the outline of the body, in the bubble form.
I know. I know what you mean. I don't see why you can't. I mean, I'm
even if they see it, I can explain to them, this is how they all start, my friends. You got to start with this little thing.
Yeah, Rick agrees. It might be a good idea.
And I'm thinking only because I know that the other guy that came and did the big paintings, I'm pretty sure he had a little bit of a cyst on his mats.
Oh yeah, he did.
And I don't blame him. You're doing something live. It's an explosive situation. Yeah. As far as like the audience watching it, and
it's still you doing the drawing.
That's true. I mean, and none of it will be fake. It's just I'm looking at it like, to make sure this goes right, I should do like I said, a rough sketch, the initial skeleton of the drawing. For sure, I'm going to do Cyclopean for the older kids. For sure, I'll do Bodhi. Bodhi is so easy, I could probably do it without a rough sketch.
Right.
And actually, he's a great example for kids because he's a circle with two ovals, spaghetti arms. That's where it gets tricky with the little fingers in the hand, like a cartoon mouse, glove hand, and two bare feet with funny toes. I mean, Cyclopean is very easy too. So maybe I won't do any roughs. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you'll know tomorrow. You'll know like when you.
Tomorrow I'll be really nervous until it starts.
Yeah.
Which is going to be funny because I know how it always goes whenever I have to present to children, because
Right.
I kind of go into like a Mr. Rogers mode, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a beautiful day in the cafeteria today. Let's talk comics. Maybe audio isn't a great idea,
Oh,
but I
you're
do know
funny.
that it always goes well, like in the club.
Yeah.
I have learned a lot about talking to the kids. Like, for
Right.
instance, I know the biggest thing is probably not to ask them any questions.
Yeah.
Questions lead to statements. You know, so does anybody know what a comic is? And a kid raises his hand and he goes, I used to watch Super Friends with my uncles and it was fun. And you're like, oh, okay. Thank you.
And it
Any
was fun.
questions?
It was
Yeah.
so fun.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
Um,
And they are trying so hard to interact, so you can't really get mad. But a lot of times they won't be questions. They'll be statements, you know, that they just want to kind of,
right.
I know who Superman is. Oh, yeah. What's his name? Peter Parker. Oh, kid, no. Sit down. Sit
Yeah.
down. But what do
That's
you
so
do, right?
funny.
What do you
Right.
do?
Well,
And that's really where the seeds start anyways. Uh,
mhm,
like I kind of look at the kids of this generation as being a little a little bit like they get the hands tied behind their back,
right.
because they don't have like the schoolyard arguments about, you know, who could be who in the same way we did. Uh, it's I don't know what to say. It's like they don't have anybody else to geek on yet because it's not built in the way it used to be. At least
Right.
not on the guys we used to geek on. I have to be honest because they do get into things.
Right.
It's just it's not the comics, you know. It's
Right.
and
Well,
but
and a lot of them haven't been exposed to them. I think for some of the kids that I know that we have in our club, your comic, what you're showing is, you
their
know,
first exposure to a book.
you
Um,
know,
like we have one fella who's reading the series, got the whole collection,
right.
and I believe it's the first time he's ever had a string of comics, like a
Uh-huh.
storyline that's, you know, longer than, you know, half an issue or an issue.
Right.
Uh, it's his first serial, for example, you know, like as a soap opera. And
Exactly.
that's the neatest thing. Just the way he's responding, I'm learning so much.
Right.
I'm like, wow, this is cool.
And
Um,
it's like I know we always go back to our comic club because I think we just have so much fun. We have so much fun doing it. Even though we're tired at the end of the day, God help me. I'm like, really, really, we have to do this today.
well, and you got to
But
understand the third and fourth grade children have an energy about them that, like,
right,
yeah, that last hour of the day that you're with them, and all they want to do is let loose. Um, and they do, you know,
yeah,
some days you'll get their greatest creativity. Other days it's so hard to keep them even in a seat.
right,
But it's kind of like the training. That's what you got to go through to get them started, you know. And
right,
now we've got kids that are creating books outside the book. Like they
yeah.
understand the part they have in the book.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
They're,
but
you know,
they're also very interested in their own stuff. And that makes me like think to myself, we've got it. We've got it started. They
right.
are now visualizing and saying, yeah, I can make, you know, the next Star Wars. I can make the next
Mhm.
PK kid. Uh, is that what that guy is called? I keep forgetting his name.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's it's so funny because like
PJ kid.
I know, but you know where I'm at right now? Do you know what I'm doing right now?
You
Do
are an
you know what I'm
eyeball.
doing? I am looking
You were
up it's
sewing an
all
eyeball.
Tony's fault. It's Tony's fault. I'm gonna blame Tony on this. I'm
Okay.
looking up EVA foam and what is required to actually make a flippin' cyclopean head out of the EVA foam. EVA foam is used to make, like when you go to Comic Cons and you see all these incredible costumes that are made out of that foam kind of stuff. That's what we have to do to make the head of Cyclopean. So while we're all talking, I'm just like Googling, going, we could probably do this. I don't know when, because I have to get through my Cyclopean doll. Tim, my Cyclopean doll is coming along. I have the embroidering the actual eyeball instead of doing like iron on or anything else. So I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm just gathering the information in case, I would like to try to get creative and then cry to the artist in my family, which would be my husband and my daughter, to help me.
No, for something that big, who would be awesome?
Who?
You said it. Our daughter, Krista. Yeah,
Krista would be.
Krista is incredible with sculptures. Like, she's done masks. She's done mirror stuff, which I can't even explain. It's just, she does physical art that like people actually want to buy.
Right.
Like sometimes physical artists are like, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, you got a wrench welded to a rod. That's cool. Yeah.
She made this dragon costume. I still have it because I didn't have the heart to put it away, to toss it away. That was so flippin' amazing. The head of the dragon. I'm like, girl, you are crazy. You were going to crazy. So at any rate, I am looking that up, and I asked Joey, I don't know what this green stuff putty, he thinks it would be better. I don't know.
He's talking about for the doll head.
I'm talking about for the person.
That's why I'm clarifying, because it may be better. We really haven't figured out which one to go with. The cosplay or the green stuff.
I'm looking now. Green craft fluff. Let's see. I'd never even heard of it, Joey, but I'm going to check it out just because I know it's called Puffin Stuffin'. My firstborn can paint. All right. Well, there you go. We have a painter in the house.
I got an ounce of water for him. Get it? Oh no, you could color water. That would technically be painting. With my luck, God, Joey would find a way. Joey would figure out a way to paint on water.
He probably would. Puffy stuff standard peanut. No, that's not it. I clicked on the wrong green craft fluff. I think that's what it is. We've talked about 3D printers before, but even that, we wouldn't be able to do Army Painter brand is good. I don't think we could make the head for a human person on a 3D printer, but you could probably make the head. Krista's talked about a head before, so that might be something he could look into. I don't know. It's all up in the air because what happens is we get excited about various projects and then I get that damn head is right. That's what I keep saying as I'm sewing these dolls. I'm like, why? Why does it have to be so frustrating? Anyway.
Well, because it's not a traditional head.
No, wait, what? I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure you will not run into too many people like that. So is it called Nylatron, perhaps?
What?
The brand name for the plastic?
It's called Green Craft Fluff. I think that's what he was talking about.
Green Craft
Fluff. I think that's it.
I'm
not sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, it popped right up. Hang on, I'll share the screen so we can look at it. Okay. It actually is probably very similar to what we're using now that I'm looking at it. Let's see, green plastic, green stuff. Where is? Okay, there it is. See, green craft fluff.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Joey, if you're still there, is that what you were talking about? So I'm writing it down. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to investigate a little bit more. It might be more pliable for what we need. The other stuff
may like it, yeah.
Yeah, the other stuff I bought for when we were going to do Bodhi, and I needed to make arms and legs.
Yeah.
That was what we were doing with that.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's true, Tony. Yeah. Thanks, Tim. So yeah, I am super excited, and summer is coming, and I don't work as many hours during the summer, and I love to craft. So this is like right up my alley. Green craft, check it out.
Well,
And
we
as
got to
usual,
make
I'm making a list. What's that?
if we're going to make multiples, I will
Mhm.
probably look into how to make a mold that will use that stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
like I said, I haven't even read into it. I just jotted it down and did a quick search. I was still hung up on the EVA foam stuff for the big person's
Well,
head.
for the first prototypes it'll work, but like what happens if you want to make 50 of them?
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we'd have to figure out how to cast a mold, which isn't that hard, really. It's just, watching a YouTube video and figuring out how to do it. Green stuff, epoxy putty. Let me look that up. I'm going to type that exactly. Green stuff, epoxy putty. Even though I typoed, it should fix it. It did.
Mhm.
Well, let's see. Epoxy putty, Star Bright, brown stick. Let me see if this is the stuff. It's going to make me stop and then share. Sorry, guys. I am not the best producer here.
What are you looking at?
This thing.
Oh. That's a stick.
Yeah, but I think it's a plastic.
Oh, Joey, is that what you meant? The epoxy putty? Yeah, it is. It's not the other stuff.
So the stuff we were using was Cause Clay. Let's take a look at that. If I could type clay, it would probably work better.
Epoxy putty. That's the green stuff, huh? Because I was looking at the green craft stuff. Because
this is what we were using.
This is what I have.
And you can carve stuff out of it or mold stuff with it, and then you put it in the oven for like a very short time, and I guess it cures it into a flexible plastic.
Yeah, it's a flexible plastic. It's really cool. Like I made some arms and legs when way back in the day when I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll make these. And they're bendable. You can bend them and pose them, which I thought was really cool. So I mean, it's still
does that involve wire?
What's that?
If you're going to make it bendable, does it involve like wire?
You can use wire in it. Yes. You put the wire in as you're forming it and it bakes right in.
Because if I get good at molding a head for an action figure, wouldn't it be cool if we could figure out how to wire his brow so you could make it like sympathetic brow, angry brow, serious brow?
I don't know.
How flexible it could be.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that. You might have to do it. Well, I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be on you couldn't change the expressions on the same head. You'd have to do different heads, right? You know that.
Maybe, or that's what I'm saying. What if you could put a wire in his eyelid
to move them up and down?
Move up or down, to get different emotions.
I don't know. You might be able to. Honestly,
we'll have to experiment. Cool, we'll have to see. Yeah.
That certain brands are malleable. Okay. And it hardens to permanent plastic. And Tim, I've never heard of making molds with just chalk, like drawing chalk. Never heard of that. Maybe you ground it down. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm sure that YouTube has YouTube.
Yeah.
Every time we look for stuff, we can usually find somebody's tutorial. Not always the best tutorial, but usually you can get an idea from the stuff out there.
I'm looking for epoxy moldable putty. It's just putty stick, hard and fast repair. You mold it. Moldable crack damages. But yeah, I mean, we can check it out. We will check it out and let you guys know. Warhammer players use it all the time. Tried other methods. I don't know what Warhammer is, but okay.
It's a cool it's like a role-playing game, and they make these like action figures and models and stuff. That's actually what I'm looking for now. Let's see. Epoxy
Warhammer.
or glue Warhammer. It's funny because they have Reddits on it and stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty big thing, but this will be a nice lead. Warhammer.
Tony's on a roll. He's going to start making these action figures. I love it. So yeah, I'm excited. And I love doing all kinds of crafts and arts, and I'm not very good at any of it, honestly, but I enjoy it. It's kind of like my my go-to. When I need to just take a break from other things, I will pull something out and start working on it. And I've learned that I really, 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 really like embroidery. Just saying.
Do you?
Army Painter brand is the best for painting. So yeah, Joey, we're coming up, I think, in sometime in August. I think we're planning around the vacation week that Chris and I have.
In August?
Did I say August? No. What the heck? I mean April. I want summer to come. I'm so tired of being cold, everybody. Just so tired of being cold. Yeah, so I think that coming up in April, we can maybe check it out and whatever. Hopefully we'll have something like exciting to share, like a doll. I'm hoping I'll have one done for you guys. But we will see. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see.
You're very excited about it, I can tell.
I am. I really am.
I know you are.
I showed you how it was coming along. And yeah, the first time around, it's my very, very first time doing embroidery. And my daughter has done embroidery, and she looked at it, and some of my stitches, we need a little TLC. So when I do it again, it'll get that. This is again the 90,000 prototype of this doll. I'm going to line them all up one day and take a picture, and you guys can see how crazy it is. Because it is crazy. I'm just saying. It is very crazy.
So, I hate to say this, but we are at an hour.
Yeah.
I'm counting the pre-show. We're at an hour and 10
minutes. Alrighty. Wow. That's pretty cool.
I have to go because I do have to jazz up that presentation for tomorrow.
Yes, we do. And we need to get a good night's rest.
Well, if I approach a bunch of kids with Helvetica font, I'm in trouble. You know, you can pull that off with the Apple crowd. You're not going to be able to pull it off with the sixth graders. No.
You're so funny.
They'll be like, he came with no game. He did not bring the A game. I'm not gonna look at his comics. Nope.
And you're not gonna. Oh my God!
So
you're
tomorrow,
so
I guess the first thing I need to do is start packing up everything for the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you with that. I took the day off to kind of work on that with you. We'll do that in the morning, first thing in the morning. I have to drop. Listen, not only are we doing this presentation tomorrow, but Bell Bottoms, our beautiful cat, our little kitten, she is going to be. She's got to go for her surgery tomorrow, and so I've got to get her up at 8:00. And well, anyway, we have to take care of that first thing in the morning. But then right after that, I drop her off. I'm going to come back home and I'm going to get the
now. Where is the location this is happening?
The location is right down the road, about 5 minutes away.
Towards Market Basket?
Yeah, it's at our vet.
Okay, I know exactly which vet it is.
Honey, it's the only vet we have.
Honey, I have like 5 vets in mind every time you say anything.
Okay, so you should probably know the name of the vet that we take our animals to, just in case anything ever happened to me. You know that, right?
No, you know our animals are all on medical protest. I've asked them, hey, was that a sneeze? Do we have to go down to the vet? And they always
I do not do that.
Right. I do that. I ask them, I'm like, you sneeze. Do you want a vet? And they tell me no, they're fine.
Yeah.
I'm thanking
everybody for all their encouragement.
You
They've
guys,
been posting in the chat. just saying we'll do good, and we're going to have fun either way. Even if we make complete, what's out of ourselves, we will still have fun because that's just how we rock and roll when we do live events.
Listen. I do well with the kids. It's gonna be fine.
I do well. This is why he does well, because he can't speak. I do well.
You know how much laughter that would have gotten with 300 kids in the room?
Oh yeah. Well. Yeah, when I go into groups for my kindergarten, I do the same thing. I'm like, so everybody needs to I'll say something funny,
and it's just you have to know when to laugh. And the kids will remind you when to laugh because they will giggle away if you say something silly.
Exactly.
Yes.
But,
all right.
So we are done.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on like I do the little last songy thing.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me put it up on the stage.
Right.
Let me set it up. I'll go back here.
Here we go, guys. Well, God bless y'all. He's trying to figure out what the heck he's doing. And
I'm gonna do the prototype.
Thanks
Captain
for
Orr
stopping in.
Yeah.
And it's always great to have everybody in the chat and the encouragement.
God bless you all, guys.
God bless.
Right. See if this works. There we go.